Okay folks, introducing the Procom Power Jet for an Honda VFR 800 Fi 1999. I got this boat last year because it says it improves performance on fuel injected bikes. And although I weren't necessarily thinking the performance was horrible, there were a few niggles I had with the VFR. One of them being that it used to backfire a little bit on deceleration and burble quite a lot. So I thought maybe having a fuel controller might make it run a bit better. So I looked at various forums, and there's not a lot of people can tell me very little about Procoms. So hey, I thought give it a go and install it on my bike. So last week I took the tank off, removed the airbox, and found the air intake valve switch, which the Procom really easily just plugs into, just a male and a female. And the hardest bit's getting to the switch itself under the airbox and then putting it all back together. So I was a bit dubious. I didn't know what to expect. So this is basically how it works. I can't find anyone on YouTube who's fitted one of these. This is basically how it works. It's got different settings, and you've got a set button here, and if you click the set button, all the green lights light up, and then it goes through a sequence, and then stops on one of the lights, and then what it says is this little black switch here, you move to where the last green light was. So I'm just going to turn it off fully and then give it another go. So this is to set it. This is how you set it up. Now on this zero setting here, this one, it lights up to that number 3, and I've got the arrow set to the number, that third light. Now I presume that's taking an air temperature outside. It's quite cool tonight. It's probably about 12 degrees. And then you've got this black dial to the left, and these are the various settings you can put it on to increase performance. So I tried it on 0, and this 0 setting there is equivalent to your stock bike as it comes from manufacturer without the Procom. That's what it should be. So I've tested the VFR on that setting on Saturday, and what I found was straight away I could feel a better throttle response. Was a little bit perkier, not a lot, and it picked up a little bit more on the low end throttle. So obviously I tried it on number 1 setting. I'll call it number 1. It's no numbers on, but I'll call it number 1. Took it out for a ride again, and I found that again it was much improved throttle response, and the bike picked up between 3 and 8,000 revs really fast. Before it used to lull a little bit, but now it seemed to be a lot perkier. So I tried it on a motorway, went a bit faster, used it through the gears between obviously rev count 3 to 8,000. Don't forget the red line at 12, so I'm only going up to 8 on my bike at the moment. And on the number 1 and 2 setting, it was vastly improved. Number 2 setting was noticeable difference of how it felt with throttle response and the power delivery to the back wheel. So all I can think that this controller's doing is telling the brains of the motorbike, the CPU, that the air temperature is different to what it actually is, so it introduces more fuel into the bike. So I looked at my fuel gauge and thought, well, is it using more fuel? I couldn't really see over I did an 150 mile an hour, 150 mile run, but I didn't notice that it cost me any more in fuel set at the number 2. So I haven't tried all the settings, I've only tried it to number 3 there, and number 3 setting was really, really good. So I'm more than impressed with what the Procom does. It absolutely significantly improves the performance of the VFR. I would like other feedback. I would like feedback from people and feedback from other, see what you think. Some people have said it's a complete waste of money, and it's not worth I think they're about £75. It's not worth the money. And one guy on a VFR forum said you could have made one for 2 and 6 and put it on yourself, obviously old school chap. I couldn't make one of these. I'm sure if you're into electronics you can. It's really simple. The black wire coming out there goes under the tank, it's clipped to this breather hose, and then it goes where my finger to the frame is, and it goes into the airbox at that level. Here we go, goes in there. That's the tricky part, getting the airbox off. Playing with the Procom itself and realising it accelerates a little bit faster. I noticed certainly at 70 miles an hour to and above that it had a faster throttle response for overtaking. So I didn't go crazy on it. I only went to 8,000 revs, but I've got to say, improved response, improved throttle, improved performance. If you've got comments, leave me some comments. See you later.